don't want you to feel like you're being interrogated. This is a very comfortable, non-judgmental atmosphere.
Oh, please, 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 can we start this? Oh, so yeah.
Hey guys, so today I'm doing another interview, and I'm here with.
Josh.
Alright.
What's up?
Okay, so all right, Josh. So before we get into the questions, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Freshman computer science major from Lawrenceville, Georgia. Yes, yes, sir. Not Atlanta. I ain't from Atlanta. Well, I am from Atlanta, but I don't really claim it because of what people were saying. So I'm gonna say where I'm actually from, my actual hometown.
So basically, what we're going to be doing today is getting your insight, your opinions, your thoughts about grief and things surrounding that topic. So it's not a lot of questions, so we'll just get into it. So our first question: how would you describe your understanding of grief and its emotional impact?
Grief. I feel like grief. First of all, let's talk about when grief happens, right? You lose somebody, saying loved one, family, friend, anyone actually that you know personally, and they just happen to die expectedly, unexpectedly, and some people will call it a phase, but to me it's not really a phase. It's like you're trying to let go of an emotional attachment to that person without trying to forget about them. So like you're still emotional, you still have all the sadness in you, all the anger and all that stuff. It just happens to come out when somebody dies. And yeah, that's basically my intake on grief, right?
Like, I want y'all to feel like y'all can come to me and be like, "Oh my gosh, hey, like we all friends in the club, we all fam."
Okay, like, in the club, we all fam.
Like, no, you know what I mean, though. So,
yeah, I do.
What was your most recent experience with
grief? Okay, so I lost my best friend about a month ago, and ever since then, I haven't really cried much or none like that, but I have had a lot of anger and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm in that process, or I'm in that stage of grief right now. So yeah.
Oh, that was really recent.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you. You know what I wish somebody would have told me?
What?
When you ain't got no hair on the back of your neck, your hair get cold. But it's
You could have told me that.
Yo, I stepped outside right after I got my hair cut. I was like, ooh.
Yo. See, that's what happens, man. That's why I'm scared to cut you.
In your experience, what's the most difficult aspect of grief for people to cope with?
A lot of people say one thing I need to work on is my anger, and I feel like with me, it's not even really the anger, because I'm not the type of guy to be crying or doing all that type of stuff. I just I be bottling my emotions. I don't know why I do that, but it's just, I don't know. I like to stay positive wherever I'm at. Right. So it's like, I don't know, but I don't know. It's just hard for people to just move around my anger, because it's just like, if I'm angry, I'm just gonna stay angry. I'm gonna stay mad at whatever the situation is until I take a second and then calm myself down, reflect on the situation, and then come back to it. I might apologize to different people for whatever reason, but you know what I'm saying? It's gonna take me a while to be like, I need to sit down and think about what I did and see what I was wrong, see what I could have done better, and then apologize to who I need to apologize to, and then. But yeah, coping around it, I don't know, because it's different for different people. not to put my mom's business out there, but my mom's a crier. One way I've learned to deal with this, my mom, she lost her father 2015, I believe.
Mhm.
One thing I did to help her, she will always cook, clean, all that stuff. Some a normal mother would do. Me and my little sister, her name is Theodora. Me and her, we used to go around the house every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, making sure everything is clean. So that way, whenever my mom gets home, we just make sure, like, you know what I'm saying, she could just rest, you know what I'm saying, focus on herself, do it. She needs to do what she needs to do. And still to this, still before I moved up here to Morgan State, I still did that. But so my sister, I don't know. I mean, there's different ways to cope with grief, especially if you're friends with somebody who is grieving.
Mhm.
There's like ways to, but it really depends on the person.
Right.
So like, for an example, let's go back to my mom for an example. My mom, she's a crier, and I had to learn different ways. Like, okay, what can I do for my mom to express like how she feels about the death of her father,
Mhm.
so she can be, what she keeps talking about it, it's not like, it doesn't feel brand new.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it really depends on the person.
Right.
So yeah, you just gotta figure out, maneuver the right way
But yeah,
around it.
so the whole reason I'm
But
doing this
besides
is
that,
because I wrote an essay. It was titled "The Grief in Me,"
mhm,
but it was basically about me experiencing other people experience grief
mhm,
because I haven't lost anybody close to me yet. So I don't really have too much like insight, too much experience with that process.
mhm,
So like it's not, I've learned like through seeing other people, it's not a linear experience. Like everybody doesn't touch all five stages. Everybody doesn't like hit them all at the same time, one after the other.
mhm,
So like yeah, like noticing like how different people handle it is
mhm.
definitely an interesting experience.
Yeah.
So in your grieving process, were there any unexpected emotions or reactions that surprised you?
Whew. Um. Earlier this year, I lost one of my homeboys back in Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
and one thing that I had my mind so set on was beating up the dude that killed my best friend. And everyone was trying to tell me, "Yo, don't do that. You're gonna get yourself killed."
Mm-hmm.
Blah 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 blah. And I was at that point. I was just like, "Yo, I don't care. My childhood best friend just died. So like, couldn't nobody tell me like how to feel or what to do about these feelings?" But everybody was trying to tell me like, "Yo, don't do it. It's not worth it," and stuff like that. And I feel like looking back at it now, in my 18 years of life, I would have never done that.
Mm-hmm.
Because although it was my childhood best friend, it was for family. If my family member got killed, I probably would have never thought that way. If, let's see, if anybody else got killed and I knew them, like I knew my childhood best friend, I would have never done that. But I feel like it was because it was him,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like me and him literally did everything together. Like his mom took care of me and my little sister. My mom took care of him and his little sister. It was just like, it felt like I lost a brother. I won't say that I should have had a different reaction, because there's no telling how anybody can feel, especially during the like grieving process.
Right. So like just
But at
having
the end of the day,
absence of like that absence of fear for losing your life to avenge your friend.
mhm,
Definitely, I definitely see that. Like some people have said like the amount of anger they some like in previous interviews people have said like the amount of anger they have
mhm,
and the amount of like lashing out to like even their parents
mhm,
and stuff like that. So yeah, there are definitely some wild things that come out of
yeah.
grieving for somebody. So how did your relationship with others change during your grieving process?
Um, with my most recent loss, I feel like people, it really depends on the setting we are at.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you an example. The other day I was in the gym. We was playing basketball, whatever. There's one. I just got on the game. I just got on the court for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I lose my first game. I'm upset a little bit. I just lost. We're playing basketball. There's one dude on the other team. I was getting ready to shake everybody's hand. This one dude on the other team was waving at me and my teammates, and I was like, dude, that's unnecessary. Just dab everybody up. I know there was trash talk or whatever. Blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? But it's the end of the game now. Let's move on. Check up the ball. Play the next game. He started yelling at me, wanting to fight. So me trying not to be so angry at everything, I sit down. You know what I'm saying? I'm still telling him, yo, that's not necessary. You know what I'm saying? You doing all this. You supposed to be a student leader.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This guy's a senior. He working in the gym. I'm like, you supposed to be a student leader. He was like, we can go outside. The first thing that came into my mind was, what do you want to do?
Right.
Because I was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going through too much. I don't want to fight nobody, but if I will, I have to.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like with the people around me, especially the people I came to the gym with,
Mm-hmm.
they, I don't know if I'm just overthinking it, but I feel like they see me different in just that incident than any other time, because I feel like during this process and how I am now, I feel like because of who I lost, my emotions are all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know. I'm trying to stay positive about it,
Mm-hmm.
but at the end of the day, the smallest things be setting me off. So some people, to really answer your question, some people they they keep their distance. Other people is just like, okay, Josh, I'm here for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be that supportive, you know what I'm saying, friend. If you ever need me, you know what I'm saying, text me whenever, you know what I'm saying? And then, but yeah, there's still those type of people where it's like, don't get mad at me unless we both just gonna have to throw hands. Nah, we don't need that type of friendship right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I keep my I'm not saying I keep my distance from them. I still try not to piss them off or whatever, but
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But if they do something to me and I get mad, then it's just like I'm messing up the whole fresher, I guess. But
Because it's that sense of understanding that needs to be had, that like the grace that needs to be given to people who are like in the grieving process, and
mhm,
understanding that like some people's emotions aren't going to be like stable all the time, like because you're dealing with that loss and that sadness and anger, that that like un that like strong, those strong emotions, strong and raw emotions
mhm,
that can change the way that like you process everything, you act and react to everything. So it's like just having that understanding is important, because sometimes like it's important to be considerate of other people,
mhm.
because people aren't going to be the same all the time. That's important too. It helps you relax.
Yeah.
Like everybody, I realize like when we don't talk before and we're just like asking questions, it's like they're like uptight, and
Mhm.
they don't feel comfortable. Like talking, relax you a little bit, you know, and it also makes you talk more. Because I had this one what interview. What was the most meaningful thing done for you during your grieving process?
Um so when I lost my childhood best friend, I found out that he had a box. And when he was live, he swore he didn't like Nigerian attire at all. I'm Nigerian, by the way. He swore on his life that he didn't like Nigerian attire. And what was so amazing to me, that his grandma knocked on my door one day, was like, so and so asked me to give this to you, um whenever y'all move on in life, but since he's gone, I'm gonna give it to you now. I opened the box, and it was a bunch of like stuff like Legos, teddy bears, and then in a like it was a smaller box in there. That smaller box had an an African attire that he wore for his ninth birthday. And what was so amazing to me was, and why it was so meaningful to me was, I picked out that design.
You did?
Yeah, I picked out that design for him. He wore it for his ninth birthday, and we took pictures. I wish I still have those pictures, but we took pictures, and yeah, I don't know. It was so nice to me, and it was like seeing that African attire just made me cry, and so it's
That
like,
shit gonna make me cry.
so it was like, dang, I didn't know he kept that. So, but yeah, I was
How
amazed.
old was he when he passed?
We was about the same age, so I am a month older than him, so he was 17.
So
Yeah,
dang. Oh my god.
I mean, it's life though.
Oh, based off your experience, what advice would you give to someone who is grieving?
Let it happen. Don't try to speed up the process. Don't try to hide your emotions. Don't try to bottle it up. Just let it happen. If you need to cry for days at a time, do that. I promise you, people around, if you mess with the right people, if you talk to the right people and you have the right friends, they're gonna understand, like, yo, you just need that. Let me not say space. Let me use a different word than space. You just need that opportunity to be by yourself, focus on yourself, do what you need to do to get back on track and like come back stronger than ever. But you first you have to find that like support group. You gotta find like either whether it's your parents, therapists, friends, grandparents, it don't matter. But one thing I'm gonna say is don't try to speed up the process, because if you try to speed up that process, the process is gonna come back and haunt you. And that's I've learned that from experience. That process is gonna come back and haunt you. So don't try to rush it. Take your time. Do what you need to do. Grieve, cry, be angry. But one thing you're gonna regret is trying to speed up the process. Because if you keep all those feelings bottled up, it's not gonna end up for you or who you around.
Yeah, definitely like
So
the process of processing
mhm.
is super important. Yeah, definitely like yeah, just making sure that you're going through the emotions
Yeah,
because like you said, like bottling anything up is just terrible. It's like shaking a ball of soda.
yeah,
And when you finally open it, the soda going everywhere.
yeah.
So yeah. How important do you think it is to talk about grief openly with others and why?
Um, in my opinion, you do not have to talk to anybody about what anybody is going through, or what you're going through, what your friend is going through, especially in the grieving process. You can choose to talk to somebody, you can choose not to talk to somebody, but if you ask me, I would say talking to somebody is better than not talking to somebody about it. I feel like talking about it, being open, and talking to, it don't matter, once again, it doesn't matter who it is, friends, therapists, whatever. Um, as long as you're being open about it and you can openly grieve, I feel like that's a great way to like. I feel like that's a great way to grieve, like opening up about your feelings, how you feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I feel like yeah, you can choose to talk to somebody, or you don't have to talk to them at all. You don't have to talk to anybody at all. But my advice, I would say talk to somebody, because it is better for your mental. And I feel like you can just strive just being open with it. So yeah, you can talk to somebody, but at the end of the day, it is your choice.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely say talk to somebody about it.
Yeah, definitely. When you're at that point, like in your grieving process, when you're ready to talk about it with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes getting that weight off your chest is like really like lightening to your emotional state. Have you seen any positive changes or growth that can come out of the grieving process, even though it's often painful?
Hmm. Um. So I'm not even gonna lie. Even though I like to think like I'd be the only one. I don't like to think this, but I'd be thinking sometimes like I'm the only one that be going through stuff. Mm-hmm. I have. It was three of us, me, my childhood best friend, and another person. He's in college right now. He's doing amazing right now. Actually, he it hurt him. I'm not even gonna lie. From experience, it hurt him more than it hurt me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He we was in school when we was in our last year of high school when this happened. He he stopped going to school for about 2 months, 3 months. Can't I don't know. He was just all over the place. Um, I had talked to him about 2 weeks ago. That wasn't the last time I talked to him, but I had talked to him about 2 weeks ago, and he's in college right now. He's on a basketball scholarship. He's at Kansas right now. Yeah, but unfortunately he couldn't play because first day of practice he wanted to tear his ACL. So
no, oh my god.
Yeah, that was bad. So he but yeah, it was he's doing better. He's doing way better now. You know what I'm saying? He has his therapist. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I seen a lot of growth from him, especially with like he actually grieved about it. Because he's happier now, he's more positive now. He's not so, you know what I'm saying? We all gonna be the same. All three of us are gonna be the same. We all still gonna be angry and ready to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he's more controllable with that now than and all three of us. He can our childhood best friend can tell you that he's the one person that like will calm down any situation. And I couldn't say the same about him around my birthday. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He was in and out of fights, stuff like that. And now he's the type of person to calm down a situation. And I love that a lot for him, especially that he's doing so much better with it. But yeah.
He's reached that stage of acceptance.
Yeah.
So he's like, and he's in a better place now. Mm-hmm. Hey, you're doing great. So this is our last question.
Damn.
Yeah. So, all right, last question is, in your opinion, how can society do a better job of supporting those who are grieving, especially in professional or public spaces?
Please, please, please. If if somebody you know is grieving and they talking to you, and in that process of talking to you, they feel some type of like they feel suicidal in any type of way, please, 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 do not shy away from that person.